Welcome to the Marvel Alliance podcast, where we cover anything and everything to do with the Marvel Universe. From the comics, TV, and movies, we will go from the Mojoverse to Earth 616 to the Quantum Realm in order to bring the Marvel Universe right to you. I'm the man without fear, Chris.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Brett.
Alliance Assemble. Volume 145. We welcome you to 2023. Happy New Year, Brent. Happy New Year's, listeners. Happy New Year's to those that are watching us live. How are you feeling?
Good. I'm glad to be back. Thank you, Travis, for stepping in last week. Appreciate that. I'm feeling much better. Kind of surprised you didn't say to Chronopolis instead of to the Quantum Realm. I guess we'll find out if that changes.
That's why I didn't want to put. Yeah, I didn't want to put that out there. At least I know Quantum Realm. I know
didn't want to call your shot, huh?
I've called my shot a long time ago where I've said that that's Chronopolis, but we know how the MCU sometimes does some things and then will swerve and call it something different. I'll not be upset if they decide to change the name, but we all know what it really is.
So we're back at work. How are you doing? How's your first couple days back been?
Yeah, first couple days back, good. I like short weeks getting back, but being in high school, it's nice because we only have a couple more days and we have exams, which are all half days. So it's nice easing back into to the normal school year. So.
Good. Yes, I'll be honest. I wasn't quite ready to go back yet. I was like, Can I just have another week? Just another week? But it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, no, it definitely was probably my most relaxing break. Does help when we don't travel anywhere. We've had a few people come over, but it's been very relaxing. Got a lot of catch up of watching stuff, playing some video games, reading a lot. So yeah, very enjoyable. But all right, well, let us get this show underway. We've got some news items. We're gonna do our big preview of 2023 MCU projects, but with the network plugs out of the way, we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance network with 8 shows covering the wide range of geek and nerdom. Yeah, to see the full schedule, check out the show notes below and subscribe to the Geek Ultimate Alliance on Twitter at GUAPod Network so you know when all the shows drop. We also have a Patreon, so if you want to throw a couple of shekels our way, we got 2 tiers. Our dollar tiers are tip jar to say, hey, you think we're doing a good job? And then we've got our $5 tier with our ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon-exclusive shows, including our show, We Can Watch This All Day, the Marvel Alliance MCU Rewatch. We have 12 episodes on there. We're the most recent one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And in 2 weeks, we are recording episode 13, Avengers Age of Ultron. So the sequel to the original Avengers, so we will be recording that, as always, dropping at the end of the month. But as you know, we've got other offerings on there. Our DC Alliance brethren looking at their DC projects through the years. We've got Heinz we've got Heinz's top 5. We've got Joe's Multiverse Minutes. We've got Clay's for the first time. Katie looking at the canon, non-canon of the comics with her husband. So patrons, we cannot do this without your support. We greatly appreciate all the support you give us. But if you're not a part of our Patreon and you are interested in joining, go to www.patreon.com/GUA network, and we look forward to welcoming you to the GUA Patreon. But if you can't join us on Patreon, totally understand. If you want to take about 30 to 90 seconds and rate and review the Marvel Alliance solo feed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whatever podcatcher choice may be. And last but certainly not least, we want to thank our official sponsor, OrganicPriceBooks.com, for your omnibus hardcover collected edition needs. JP and the crew at OPB have got it going on with immaculate packaging, excellent customer service, ships around the world. Lovely omnis all here. Still got about, looks like 10 days to lock in those pre-orders for some of these omnibuses, including Secret Warriors, brand new Spider-Man, Brand New Day, Brent's favorite storyline of all time in Spider-Man.
Not putting that one on Comic Book Club.
No. That's a non-starter with Brent. So, but yeah, some great ones. But if you do want to go to OPB, use that code MARVELGUA at checkout to get $2 off every single order, and let them know you are a listener, and you could use it an unlimited amount of times. We want to thank them for being our official sponsor. All right, we got a couple of network updates. One, Walk Through the Multiverse will be moving to Wednesdays starting on June 18th. They will be dropping weekly, covering The Last of Us, which premieres on HBO on January 15th. So again, Walk Through the Multiverse going weekly, effective January 18th through the duration of the show. And the Animation Nation will be moving to Saturdays starting that week. Until the end of The Last of Us. Again, Joe wants to make sure to cover that instead of waiting to the day before the next episode. So we on the network help each other out and make those adjustments. So looking forward to that show. I was a big fan of the video game. And it's Pedro Pascal, so I know it's going to be quality programming.
Pedro Pascal walking around trying to get a kid from point A to point B, right? Right? That's what I've heard about it. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. It
seems totally novel. Totally novel.
Yes, totally. But in this case, not alien.
Not alien. That's right.
Not alien. And then the last thing is we are going to be doing 2 GUA crossover shows this month, but our first one will be next Friday, Friday the 13th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosts from across the GUA will be jumping on the stream and just talking about everything going on across, in this case, across all fandoms, and just having a good old time. And our patrons, Tier 2 patrons, you will get the link to join in the Zoom call and join in the fun. So again, the first of 2 for this month will be again Friday the 13th, next Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will be a part of that. Brent, what are you? Are you in or out?
I am planning on trying to be there. I think that's going to work out. So my intent right now, let's put it this way. I've told the family I'm doing it. So something big will have to come up for me not to be there.
Yes. So, all right. So before we get into kind of our main topic tonight, Brent and I definitely wanted to talk about the very scary and just as the story kept on getting more and more information, it just kept on just being more in shock. But on Sunday, Jeremy Renner suffered basically just a horrific accident. As I'm going through kind of the notes for this one, it broke from his representatives that they can, on I think this got confirmed Monday. That we can confirm Jeremy is in critical but stable condition with injuries suffered after experiencing a weather-related accident while plowing snow earlier today. His family is with him and he's receiving excellent care. Well, as the day went on, we got more and more information, and this is coming from as we get to the sheriffs. So at the point of the investigation, one, they do not believe Mr. Renner was impaired at all. We believe it was a tragic accident. What had happened was a personal vehicle driven by one of his family members was stuck. Renner went to retrieve his snowcat, or his piston bully, which weighed 14,000 pounds. Renner went to tow the vehicle on a private road, which allows him to operate such a vehicle. The actor got out of his piston bully and it started to roll. Renner tried to get back in the piston bully, and at that point in time, the police believe the actor was run over by the vehicle. And so there was, I think, a nearby doctor who had come by, tried to kind of hold, basically tourniquet everything until help could arrive at that point. He has been in different surgeries at that point. He has posted not only photo of him, probably posted from representatives to say, he's doing okay. He actually posted a video this morning, getting kind of a spa treatment at that point, rubbing his head. I mean, it really is a miracle he's alive.
He is extremely lucky to be alive. He ended up not losing a leg, which you would have thought would have happened. The doctor likely not only saved his leg but saved his life. And at this point, we're just thankful that he is still alive. And I know most people definitely were at the appropriate level of concern, let's say, about this, and we're focused on the areas that matters. And thankfully, it is alive. And he's just trying to help people out. He's got this snowplow to help people out, and he, at least from what I've read, he says he uses it on a regular basis to help people who get stuck. And this, just like you said, it was a horrific accident. No impairment, no foul play or anything like that. Just this freak accident, and thank God that he's still alive, that he's still with us.
Yeah, and from what the mayor of the town, I believe it said that he is a very freaking just likes to help people out, not just getting people out of jams, but like he's one to always be there for people there. Brent and I, the purpose of this story is not to speculate in any way, shape, or form of his future in the MCU. We're not doing that. We're not going to be doing that at that point. But because he is part of the Marvel family at that point, we would be remiss not to talk about it, but also express our deep thoughts and prayers for his recovery, to take all the time he needs to recover. And thankfully, he is still with us, and we look forward to seeing him back up on his feet. Within as much time as it takes for him to get back to full strength.
Absolutely. I was pretty shocked when I saw this news come by. I think it was you. I don't remember. Someone posted it in the chat. I was pretty shocked when I saw this come by. But thankfully, relatively reasonable time frame. We got regular updates that he is doing as well as you possibly could be, given what he went through. So, and at this point, that's all anyone can ask for.
Exactly. So, all the best at that point. Amara Danielson chatted, just watched that video of him getting a head massage. Hope he's getting plenty of rest. Yeah, he and the fact that he's smiling and kind of slightly joking around during that video. I mean, he's in very good spirits right now, again, surrounded by loved ones and probably some awesome care. So again, our thoughts go out to him on his speedy recovery. All right, so let us transition to our kind of main topic for tonight, looking at the upcoming slate of Marvel for 2023. Now, in the last few days, basically, as we were marching toward the new year, there was a lot of different stories being posted of how many, particularly looking at Disney Plus, of the offerings coming out of Disney Plus. And right now, what we can really, basically kind of point to is, officially right now, only 3 Disney Plus projects have been confirmed, and that would be Secret Invasion, Loki Season 2, and Ironheart. Missing from this list are a couple. One, What If Season 2, but I believe that still, Brent and I are putting that in very highly likely that will be coming out this year. We've heard too much last year that it's basically ready to go. Now, everything going on in the animation department of Marvel is a whole other question, but that seems to be very much in the bag, at least with Season 2. Other things that are missing, though, that are, and we've talked about this on the show a little bit. Echo was originally talked about being a 2023 project. We talked about it a few weeks ago, that the showrunner saying at the time, a year from when she was on the podcast, and that was basically December. Now, more reports are saying more than likely that is now slipping to early 2024. The next one that was hinted about being also in 2023 is Agatha Coven of Chaos. But Brent, why do we not think that's probably going to make it to 2023?
Well, for starters, it was listed as 2023/2024, so it was already planned as potentially any time from basically a year from now to the next few months. But there's reports that it's just now going into production, which I mean, yes, they could do it, but that would be kind of a fast turnaround time. It's doable, certainly doable, and we don't know what kind of lead time they have on their other projects right now. But you know what? Just we've said it before, just take your time. It's fine. We're good. Yeah. So if these reports coming out of Disney Plus Japan are accurate, and there's only 3 live action shows plus potentially What If, fine. That's plenty.
Well, I did think of another one I'm going to add to our list right now.
Oh, you're going to make me change my hype rankings. Let's see what we got.
X-Men 97 is another one that's missing, and I think that's also that could be kind of a summer thing at that point. That might change. I'll probably put an asterisk on that. That definitely changes my kind of hype list as well, because I just totally forgot about that one being missing from the original slate. So I will add it as probably What If and X-Men 97 will probably be more than likely. I think we heard a lot more confidence that X-Men 97 is pretty much almost done, if not already
If both
done.
of those came out, could put that could put us up to 5 potential projects, unless they were part of the 3 reported ones. But like if there was something lost in translation, but it's looking like we're going to get 3 to 5 projects with 1 or 2 of those being animated. That's a busy year.
Yeah, and it's definitely a full year at that point too. To your point, we talked about this during our Phase 4 discussion in our rankings, where Marvel has taken a lot of flack with Phase 4 in the sense of possibly rushing projects, VFX getting not so done. The where does this all connect at that point? It seems kind of thrown together. So, and we've heard, rumors being that Marvel's hearing those complaints and probably taking that seriously. Now to what we're saying, okay, 3 Disney plus live action projects, good. 2 animation projects that have been in development for a number of years as well, with 3 movies. I think we're good. I think if Echo
It's a full year.
yeah, it's a real full year. I think if Echo and Agatha do slip to 2024, I'm good with that. We don't need, especially if these Disney Plus projects do land where I think they're going to land. Everything is spread. I think the only thing that's going to be interesting for us this year is MCU movies will end in July. That'll be kind of a first. We will have nothing in the fall or the winter for an MCU project.
For MCU, yeah, but
MCU film, that is.
As it is currently planned, it is still Marvel. We are Marvel Alliance. Craven in October, and of course Across the Spider-Verse in June. And so you add it all up, we have a very full year of Marvel in front of us. It's fine. I'm good. I'm fine. Yes, I obviously I want Echo, ASAP, because of the characters that she's going to be tied to and is tied to, and who she is basically considered to be a part of as far as grouping goes in the comic books, because she's a Daredevil character. But that's fine. I'll be patient.
Well, let's add those two to let's add those to the list, right?
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, that's hard, but okay, we'll add them.
Well, we did say Marvel projects, and we're doing it live. We're making some changes on air at that point. All right. So, how do you want to tackle this, Brent? Do you just going to go project by project of when they release and kind of say where they are on your kind of list of hype?
Well, what do we have? 10 projects.
Do the count right now. Across the Spider-Verse, and then when does Craven come out? October. Okay.
In only 274 days, Chris. Only 274 days.
Only.
I actually cleared off my calendar. I found an old calendar entry for at some point Craven was scheduled for like next week. I was like, "What? That's not right.
No,
that's a real old listing."
No, that is true. That at one point for a while it was actually scheduled to be like that. So,
how about this?
Yeah.
What's your number 10?
My number 10
for your hype. So obviously the most hyped is going to be number 1. What's your number 10?
All right, my number 10 easily right now is Craven.
Yeah, Craven. All right, let's move on.
Craven. Yeah, Craven. We've heard enough about it. Brent and I. It is absolutely no Madam Web. Absolutely not.
No, there's no blueprints there.
No. There is only one blueprint, and that is Madam Web is the blueprint. So any chance I get to put that hashtag up, I will.
Yeah, so Craven number 10 will be there. We'll be there. We'll talk about it on the show. Of course, we'll review it. It's a Marvel movie, but it's Craven. So, what do you got next?
What I got next? Right now, I've got actually What If Season 2.
Okay.
Not for any reason, because I do like the What If concept. My hype level went down significantly because I don't know if we're going to get anything more out of this after this season, and it's more of just if that whole animation debacle that's going on, the restructuring wasn't going on, I'd be more confident in it. Now is that if this is our last season of it, it'll lower my hype. I'm interested in the stories. I really enjoyed season 1. and we'll kind of see what's going on. But yeah, it dropped a lot from where it used to be.
You know, I don't know why I almost felt bad putting it there, but I'm the same way. What if season 2 is the next one on my list? I am looking forward to it, but Travis Hines, cover your ears, earmuffs, Travis Hines. You just animation for me is not on the same level. It's just not, and I know that's not always fair. It's just in general, it's not. So yes, I'm sure there's what you're thinking, but that other thing's animated. You're right, it is, but that's the exception, not the rule. And so in general, it's not. And it's I kind of agree with you. It's like I feel like I don't know where else they're going to go with it. And you know what? It doesn't have to go anywhere to be a good story, but that's where I'm at right now. What if season 2? I got number 9.
All right, my number 8 is Ironheart. This is the more I hear about this series, the more I get more and more curious about it. Just because it's from what we're understanding about the show right now, it's going to be tech, science versus magic. We're hearing hashtag Mephisto confirmed. We're hearing our villain possibly being the Hood. We're seeing a lot of cool suits on set at that point for Ironheart. It's going to be a very interesting show. I'm very, again, our first kind of quote unquote Iron Man, adjacent project for Disney Plus. And again, I thought, Riri Williams getting a chance to really shine in her own light. I'm excited about, even though it's lower on my list. It's still one that I'm excited about, but compared to the others on this list, it definitely ranks a little bit below.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. My next one is actually X-Men 97, animation-wise for the same reasons we already talked about, but I was there. I was with this show with X-Men when it started coming out in the 90s. I'm actually rewatching season 1 now, or I just finished season 1 last night. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm excited about the returning voice cast. That's just where I have it at for me. It's just a little bit lower level because there's just this part of me that feels like it's a little bit of X-Men filler to tide us over until we get to like the new live action X-Men. Just a little bit of a hint there. It's how I'm feeling about that. So that's where we're going at. But I'm excited. Travis is doing on Animation Nation. He's starting to go through the shows. I'm going to pop up on a couple of those episodes. He asked me if I wanted to join. I'm like, yeah, there's a couple favorites I would thoroughly enjoy. So I'm not going to tell you what those are at this time. But regardless, I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah. My next one is The Marvels. This one might have been a little bit lower, but something I've been kind of told, and I'm not going to say anything on air, I'm not going to tell you, Brent, at that point, has risen a little bit higher in my rankings because of what they might be portraying in this in relation to the Multiverse saga and what's going to be happening. And I've been racking my brain until this person said, you're going to possibly see this. And I was like, it wasn't a big spoiler to me, but I was like, because they asked to say, do you want to know something interesting that I'm pretty confident in? And I said, yeah, sure. What is it? And it said, okay, I will definitely see this rising up. But I think what I'm really intrigued about with this is Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and what we're assuming is Photon sharing the screen together, seeing exactly Monica Rambeau and Carol meeting and seeing exactly where this kind of animosity is it just as simple as you never came home, you never stopped by and were there for my mom when she was dying, or is it something more deeper than that? But seeing Kamala Khan meet her idol, and see that kind of dynamic there. It's going to be really interesting about it. But yeah, that's my number 7 we're at.
Yes, my number 7 is Ironheart. Much for the same reasons you had it. In fact, prior to Wakanda Forever, I probably would have had X-Men 97 slotted above this. But I really like Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So that did, increase my excitement level for the show. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this, and I'm just hoping somewhere in there is a good Iron Man villain for her to take down someone who's mad at Tony Stark. I definitely do want to see that. They don't need to be the main, they don't need to be the big bad, but just one of those thugs. I'd love to see someone get taken down by her who's just pissed at Tony Stark. But Ironheart, number 7.
All right, my number 6 is X-Men 97. like you, I grew up watching the show. This is the some of the pinnacle of animation for me, of childhood animation, and I celebrate the show. I'm gonna start my rewatch of it because just like you, Mr. Hines has also invited me on, and
Excellent.
I will say this: I will be on, depending on how he does it, between two or three. Um, Times on there.
Okay.
There are three arcs I will definitely be a part of. It just depends on how he does it.
Splits
Does
up
he
the
does it in
episodes.
two? Does it
Sure.
three? Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm very excited about. I love that it's still going to be holding the style of the animation. That
Yes.
is
Yes.
really it warms my heart. I loved seeing Magneto in the that costume from the late 80s at that point, from Trial of Magneto. It was just, oh my gosh, they're going that way. I love it. Absolutely love it.
When you rewatch it, just and I'm sure you've noticed it before, and Hines mentioned it on his episode covering the first two, Night of the Sentinels. I love the way that they hide the Sentinels in plain sight, like just
Oh
standing there
yeah,
behind a house and stuff like that.
yeah.
There's, there's several times throughout that. I love that. It just all of them make me laugh. There's definite cheese and stuff like that to it,
Oh, perfect.
but
Yeah.
I love it. It is so much fun.
That's where Drax got his idea from, hiding.
That's
You
right.
can't see him. That's he watched X-Men 97. All right, what's your next one?
Next up, actually, for me is Secret Invasion. I am curious about this. I'm excited to see Samuel L. Jackson, basically take the lead on a project because for as many appearances as he has had, he's never been the lead. We haven't seen him in the lead yet,
Mhm.
right? I'm excited to see that. I'm curious to know what Rhodes is going to do. Maria Hill's supposed to show up in this, but there's just a little hint of like, what are they going to change from the show? Is this an Age of Ultron situation where it's name only? Or is it a Civil War where it's the spirit is there, but they obviously change things and compress things down a little bit differently? We'll find out which way it is, but Secret Invasion is what I have next.
Nice. My next one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Um, it there is so much baggage in the sense of not like behind the scenes issues. It's just like that first trailer was so heavy. It's just like, oh my gosh! Not only is this the last Guardians, but we know we're going to be losing some Guardians in this. Some characters that we have grown very much attached to. And for those that probably complain, like we know a lot of people, Volume 2 was a very divisive film for some people. I think this Volume 3, I think that trailer won a lot of those people over in the sense of getting back to what people really enjoyed about the first one. It is one where I think I have it lower just in my, as we start getting into my top five, it was very difficult, but I'm more hyped about what these next projects will bring to the future of the MCU, what it's going to do. This one is an ending, and I don't like seeing it end at that point, especially what it's going to bring. But that's a testament of what James Gunn has done with those characters. So it's not necessarily I'm disliking the project. It's more of just like I don't want it to end.
Fair, very, very, very fair. And yeah, we don't want it to end, of course. My next one I have is the Marvels. I loved Kamala. She was fantastic, and Monica was great in WandaVision, and I like Carol Danvers. So like for me, it's like great home run, all three of them. Very excited to see them interact. Very excited to see Monica's powers develop for further Kamala's, interactions with Carol and like the way she's going to fangirl out over it. And just to find out what Carol's got going on at this point. So the Marvels is where it's at for me. Just to be clear, do not know whatever your secret information is, Chris.
Nope,
And that's fine. You don't need to tell
yep,
me. I don't
going
need to hear it. If it comes out and it's like in a trailer, you can say it was that. But for right now, I don't need to know it. But I am excited for the Marvels, so that's my number 5.
Yeah. All right. My number 5 is Secret Invasion. I am a sucker for CIA spy versus spy kind of clandestine stuff. And I love
So like Jack Ryan that just came out.
Oh yeah, Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
I was
It's
all
good.
over that. I was all over that.
Yeah.
But The Comic Secret Invasion, definitely one of my top favorites. Even though they're taking homages to it, I love seeing that kind of first teaser for it. Say they're definitely Winter Soldier vibes with this. Like, who do you trust at that point? Where is this? And they're billing this as the first MCU Disney Plus crossover show. And more, what we're hearing is there's going to be some big surprises in the sense of crossing over, maybe reintroducing some characters into the MCU. I really am quite excited about that. Not just like you said, Samuel L. Jackson leading as Nick Fury, but again, this darker, seedier side of what's been going on right before our eyes of when this takes place in the MCU. This whole that whole time where was it who was it whenever Talos is sitting down and then all of a sudden all these people stand up and they're all Skrulls. Like, that is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Kind of, oh my god, it gives me chills to see thinking about that scene. That was so cool.
We should probably throw that on our list of comic book clubs, like just the mainline story of it, but as potential comic book clubs in the future.
Yeah, we can definitely do. Hey, we do have our choice coming up next, so we can definitely make that our choice.
I'm just saying that's something that it just feels appropriate to do.
Yes, it definitely does. And you're number 3.
Number 4.
Number 4. Oh yeah, number 4.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the next project, as far as we know, that we are getting. I'm really excited. Like, the thing I'm most excited about this for is Jonathan Majors as Kang. Like, that's the part I am most excited for. I like both the other Ant-Man movies. They're fun. They're also lower on my list. I think I enjoy them. They're just not my favorites. And so I am looking forward to seeing this movie. But if I'm honest, like, that's where it is. So it's higher than some others, but the reason it is where it's at is primarily because of Kang. Like, I'm really, really curious, and I really, really liked what Jonathan Majors did as He Who Remains in that final episode of Loki season 1, and so I am anxious to see him on screen again.
Well, my number 3 is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is my top live action film for 2023, because this not only is starting phase 4, but this is really truly our first kind of truly where we're going in this. Like you said, introducing Kang, diving into the quantum realm, what is going on that's putting us on this path. Like you said, He Who Remains, that started us on introduction into the Kangs at that point, but he is going to be our first look at Kang and what he is looking for, what he's planning on doing. The whole, we're getting our new trailer next week. Brennan and I will break that down next week. But the line that we know was said at Comic-Con, I'm really wanting it to be in the trailer that comes out next week, where Kang is talking to Scott and saying that, when Ant-Man goes, I'm an Avenger. He says, have I killed you before?
It's such a good line.
Oh, and hearing him deliver it.
Get it in there. There.
And that's this, like, it's all this, like, we've seen the first 2 Ant-Man movies be kind of, it's supposed to be jokey and things like that. Scott's gonna be for a world of hurt, it looks like. And I'm very, very much on the thing. I think I've even done the fact or fiction that we're probably going to lose a member of the Pym family as a result of this. So, but yeah, it may be the first one that we're getting in basically in about a month, less than a month. It is my most anticipated live action film for 2023.
Well, my number 3 is Loki season 2. Loki season 1, I think is absolutely phenomenal. And I know some of the creatives behind the camera are different, but I still have trust in them. I'm very, very anxious to see what else they're going to do with this. And will He Who Remains, Jonathan Majors Kang, will he appear in this one? I'm not sure right now. But regardless, Loki season 2 is the Disney Plus show that I am the most excited for this year.
We're one behind, one ahead of each other. Yeah, my number 2 is Loki season 2, for a lot of the reasons you said. But there was something so special about this show that I think, WandaVision was something true, was something very unique. Loki was just one of those things like we didn't know what to expect, and each week brought us something a whole other level. Like some of the like post credit stingers were something else at that point, and it, especially with the idea that there's more multiverse craziness that's going to be going on, especially with where they left it. Like we're not this. This is a different Mobius. This is a different thing. We don't know what, obviously there's going to be a different version of Kang we're probably going to be seeing in this. And this is our first season 2 for a Disney Plus series. So there's a lot of hype surrounding this. And for many people, it is their top show for Disney Plus. And I can't argue with that. It's definitely one of mine. So yeah, this is going to be very something special. So yeah, like you said, this is my top Disney Plus show of 2023 anticipation.
So number 2 for me is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy is just an incredibly special movie. It's just so amazing. I don't think Volume 2 reached the heights of Volume 1, but Volume 2 is still a really, really good movie overall. I'm anxious to see what they do with Volume 3. And of course, we had the Christmas special. But for me, James Gunn with the Guardians is 3 for 3, counting that holiday special. So I'm anxious to see what he's going to do here. And yes, I'm sure, we're all going to be hitting the feelings pretty hard. And there's going to be parts of it that are tough to watch. But that's just because of the amount of care that we have for the characters that we largely have because of the work James Gunn has put into their development. I am excited to see the movie. I'm excited to see who survives for who potentially does still have a future in the MCU. Maybe not a couple people we're pretty sure on, but after those two, it's like, I don't know who else. We'll find out.
I might have a fact or fiction about that tonight.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, then I'll say no more on that.
Yes. All right. So number 1, I have a feeling since it hasn't been out there for either one of our lists, it's our number 1. My number 1 most anticipated movie is Across the Spider-Verse. Right now, especially after that trailer, yes, my hype level for that, just like if you're a fan of the movie, this is Spinal Tap, it's reached 11. It's one higher than 10. It's gone to 11 and beyond that, seeing just the cameos. I forget my absolute adoring of Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. I finally get that on screen. Brent, you're going to get Ben Reilly on screen. We're going to get all these different spiders on screen, and just seeing and hearing all the different possibilities of what this movie is going to bring, animation styles, the cast, and this is going to be something special. I mean, that international IMAX thing, I have changed that to my Twitter cover on there, because it is definitely going to be my most anticipated summer movie. So,
yeah, I mean, I could co-sign everything you just said. Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, right? Like that. Yeah. I see him. It's like I think Spider-Man the '90s animated show is the only other time I've ever seen him in anything outside comic books. And so, because he's never been in a live action movie, and I think that's the only other time we saw him animated. Kane Parker showed up in animation, but Ben Reilly, very, very excited for that. And this is where I contradict myself because it's animation, and just think back to what I just said about animation a few minutes ago. But the difference is this is the exception, not the rule. And that first one is just a love letter to Spider-Man. I was able to see it at an advanced screening, and I knew like within 5 minutes I was seeing something truly great. And the movie holds up. I've seen it dozens of times at this point, partly because Miles is my son's favorite Spider-Man. And I am super excited to see this movie, to get to take him to this movie, because he didn't see the first one in theaters. So I'm very, very excited for this. Yes, Across the Spider-Verse, when we're talking Marvel and everything, I mean, it's Spider-Man, right? How is something going to top Spider-Man for me?
Yeah, and right now, outside of the movies, when it comes to the shows, we have no official release dates for these. We have anticipated, like in the sense of summer, spring, things like that. I think our first live action is going to be Secret Invasion. I think we might get X-Men 97 either premiering right before or right after Secret Invasion.
I am excited to find out.
Take it back. Yeah, did I say X-Men? I meant What If. I meant What If season 2. Yeah, that's what I meant. So strike that, reverse it. I think What If will be our first animation project. I think X-Men 97 will be kind of a late summer kind of thing. We will get Loki season 2 as our summer project, and then Ironheart will be our fall winter MCU project. So. But yeah, so that is our hype rankings. Let us know what you all think about that and see what your hype level for it is. But anything more you want to say about this sprint before we take our first ad break?
No, realistically, just it looks like it's going to be a really fun Marvel year, and I am anxious to get into it.
Yeah, so, all right, listeners, as you know, these ads help keep the lights on in the Geek Ultimate Alliance network. We don't get to choose what ads come on, and they can be a bit loud, and give you that 3 count before we come on. 3, 2, 1. We'll be right back. And we are back. And just to prove we listen to the other shows on the network, yes, Joe is right. We don't always take the breaks on the exact 30, but we want to have a nice conversation and end it, not just break it up if we don't have to. So I'll take it a little later for that first ad break, but Joe pays attention, and I appreciate that.
I understood that reference.
Yep. All right. So our next topic, we got 2 other quick news hits for this week. So we've got the headline coming from the Direct. 2 new MCU Halloween Disney Plus specials are rumored to be on the way. As per the Entertainment Insider Daniel RPK's latest Patreon post, 2 more of these Halloween specials, presumably for Disney Plus, probably for Disney Plus, are reportedly in development. This rumor is in line with the Cosmic Circus's previous report that the MCU's Phase 5 and Phase 6 introducing many more new Marvel monsters after Werewolf by Night. Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige teased that the world of monsters will ultimately become quite important to the MCU's future. It is unknown what's going to be introduced, no hints around that. Werewolf by Night's executive producer Brian Gay previously stated, well, we don't know exactly where they'll pop up next. The idea is that with the wide swath of different species and types, they're going to pop up again. You're going to see these guys in different ways, of course. So, we got introduced to Werewolf by Night. We got introduced to Man-Thing, a.k.a. Ted. We got introduced to Elsa Bloodstone. Mm-hmm. And so we've got... So others, I think, that could be part of this. I think Ghost Rider is very much a top contender for this.
That's the first one I thought of.
Yep. Who else do you think? Who could be that second one?
Actually, I think Werewolf by Night could be that second one.
Okay.
And I'm excited at the prospect of this. I really am. I don't want them to pigeonhole the special presentations to holiday specials, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want them to just be for the holidays. I want them to use them at other times. But I am curious about this. I really enjoyed Werewolf by Night, so I'm excited at even the possibility of seeing them again. But you know what? That is the easy answer. If we want to find someone else, trying to think of other characters that could be maybe something related to Doctor Strange would fit the kind of a Halloween vibe. But you know what? There's the Halloween episode of like WandaVision. It doesn't have to just be like the Monsterverse characters. Anybody as in a Halloween special could work.
I got one for you. Okay. How about Mephisto? Mephisto gets his own special presentation.
If he doesn't show up in that, then I don't know what. I don't know. But
a day in the life of Mephisto, Screwing with the MCU.
One of the 18 episodes of Daredevil could be like a Halloween special, Just really thinking about it, I could absolutely see something like that. But Ghost Rider was the first one that I thought of. If they had shown any other inclination, maybe something with Null, but I'm not sure the status with him and as far as symbiotes and stuff goes. Mm-hmm. Like, he's probably considered a Venom character in the way that they probably can't use him, but that would be pretty cool if they could.
I thought of an X-Men character that I know X-Men are probably really more going to be used more in Phase 7 than anything else, but if I were to pick one, how about Magic?
She would fit, yes. She would fit. So I'm just going to ask, would you recast?
I think by the time we get into this kind of phase at that point, if it is going to be magic, I think I would love to have Anna Taylor-Joy be the character, but I think they will be recasting.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
I could see a legacy cameo of it, maybe a nod to the legacy that you know, it's not Anna Taylor-Joy from what I understand. I still haven't seen the movie. Would be probably was a bright spot. You've seen the movie, wasn't too bad.
No. She was fine. She's not the problem with that movie. I thought you had seen that movie.
No, I still haven't.
All right. Well, you're on your own for that one.
I know. Yeah, I don't think that's coming into our rewatch, is it, Brent?
No, it's not. We talked today about adding something else at some point.
We did.
But I have standards, and regardless of where they're at, they're there.
But 2020, you were fishing for content at that point to see. So he said, you know what, I'll go see it.
2020, I didn't want to not see the last X-Men movie from Fox in theaters when I had the opportunity.
That is true. So, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I'm glad, like you said, one, I hope that these special presentations are not, the majority of them are not going to be Halloween ones. But if this becomes kind of like, oh, we're going to do a Halloween one, we're probably not going to get one next year. The slate is kind of full for that.
How do we not say Moon Knight? Instead of a whole season 2, just a Moon Knight special presentation.
Then, we got to summon the suit a bunch of times. We have to see Jake.
I mean, I don't know why I didn't just, I don't know. I feel like I was missing something obvious there. I should have thought of that earlier.
True. I know Mr. Snell would like that a lot. So, but yeah, it's the special presentations brought about a really cool idea, especially with, I think, Werewolf by Night being the first one and people being we were as surprised as how good it was. And that saying, well, man, this is a way that if we are pushing the idea of maybe we see to the series, but maybe if we just kind of focus on a story for 45, 50 minutes at that point, we can really do better with, like you said, quality versus quantity.
Sure.
So
I'm with you.
Brock's in the chat saying, but Moon Knight only had one season.
So he could have one season and a special presentation.
Yes. Come on. We go back and forth. Nova, we still don't know. We're hearing now Nova is going from a special presentation to movie. So
and Nova is not the character I jump to for a Halloween-related special presentation, but I'll take it. Yeah. Sign me up.
All right. Our last story for the evening, Wakanda Forever did finally, after some back and forth of scoopers trying to scoop each other, will be dropping on Disney Plus on February 1st at that point. But that is not the story we're bringing you with this. Speaking to Empire Podcast, Black Panther Wakanda Forever star Letitia Wright revealed that Marvel Studios originally planned to have both Shuri and Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa serve as Black Panther simultaneously. Empire asked, I imagine there was a lot of weight attached to that suit, as for many reasons. Can you talk to me about the emotions putting it on and what the reaction was? She said it was bittersweet. Shuri was always going to do it, but it was going to be done in a different way, where her brother was going to be alongside her. Really explore that, like the comic books, the ways that T'Challa and Shuri would be Black Panther alongside each other, and how they would try to figure out how to defend the nation working with each other. Again, I'm enjoying, first it was Ryan Coogler kind of talking about what the original script was, but also Letitia Wright coming out and giving us some more information about like what part of this, the original idea for was. That would have been interesting. And she's right. There is comic precedent for both her and her brother being Black Panthers. What do you think about that? What would you think if that was was able to come to fruition?
I have such mixed feelings about these stories because the idea sounds great. It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun to get to see the two of them team up. The part I'm just mixed about is we know we're not ever going to get to see that. We're not going to get to see that. We know why we're not going to get to see that. And so there is a part of me that just doesn't want to know what the plans were. Well, of course, at the same time, I see an article Ryan Coogler talks about, or Letitia Wright talks about original plans for Black Panther 2. I click on it immediately. So it's like, I don't want to know, but I still read it immediately just because I have to know. Like, if they're going to make it available, I have to know. Yeah. I can't help. I love that movie, but I am always going to, there's always going to be part of me that's just like, what if, like what could have been? And this is just
No
more
pun
into
intended.
that. Maybe a little.
Maybe. No, I mean you're right. But this is why like I'm a big like when I I watch the movies at that point, but I love the behind the scenes stuff. Like I love understanding how not just movies are made, but like why directors and producers and writers and actors make the choices they make, and when they make changes, or what was on the cutting room floor, why one thing didn't. This kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, it definitely is. What we could have gotten. It doesn't disappoint me. It's just saying this was going to be also another special movie that, unfortunately, yes, we're not going to see. But again, doesn't mean that we can't appreciate what they were going to be trying to do with it. So,
yeah, of course.
But all right, so that is all the news for this week. So before we get into listener feedback, comic book questions, fact or fiction, we're going to take our final ad break for the evening. So listeners, as you know, these ads help keep the lights on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. We'll get to choose what ads come on. They can be a bit loud. Give you that 3 count before they come on. 3, 2, 1. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. So, Brent, listener questions.
We only had one this week, and it was from you, which, it's weird, but I'll allow it. I really don't know why you added it this way, but whatever. I respect the choice.
I wanted to put it out there because I wanted to be like a contributing member in a way, maybe get a few questions. No, we did. We get it.
You're on the show, you contribute.
I contribute, but in this way, I thought it would be kind of humorous at that point. But
I did laugh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so go for it. What was my question?
From listener Chris Balga, one of the items Congressman Robert Garcia will have underneath the U.S. Constitution when he's sworn into office, when that eventually happens, is an issue of Superman #1. What comic book graphic novel would you choose, and why, if you were going to be sworn into the House of Representatives?
Yep, or any kind of office.
Would you like to answer your own question first?
I would like to answer my own question for sure. How gracious of myself to do that. Yes, so this was, even though I posed the question, I knew it was going to be a hard one for me to choose. And so I'm kind of being a fan of all. One of my favorite runs, this is not what I'm going to be swearing in on, but one of my favorite runs of Avengers is this beauty right here, from Busiek and Perez, Volume 3, Avengers.
Fantastic run.
Earth Mightiest. It just came out, reprint of Volume 1 of their illustrious run. But the reason I bring that up is the one of the books I would like to be sworn in on is Avengers JLA Avengers.
Okay.
This is one of my very first comics I've ever read. Last year I was able to acquire this lovely absolute format one. This is my biggest whale of all time. Good friend of mine gave it, gifted to me for a lovely price at that point that I could not pass up. But this book means a lot to me. It's when I first started collecting, so to kind of have it in this format, this is definitely one I'd sworn in on. And then for a DC side, even though that was technically both, I'm a big fan of Darwin Cook, and the other one I would like to be sworn in on is DC New Frontier. His artwork, his writing, the hopeful nature of the story is something that I would love to be, just as means a lot to me. Now, if I had to choose a single issue, Superman, Batman, #26, and Superman. The issue number is reframing to me, but when he officially comes back as Superman, the reason for that, the Superman coming back at that point when he's back, is that is the very first comic I ever bought as a kid. I still have that issue that I bought. And then why Superman Batman #26 is one simple story in there, Sam's story by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. A very sad story, but one that I always revisit because of the note at the end. So, but yeah, those are some things. It's gonna be a heavy thing, but you know what? I think it'd be worth it.
Okay, so I can give you two answers then. One came within about 5 seconds to me. It took no thought at all whatsoever. It just seems totally obvious to me. Amazing Fantasy 15. How do I not
yes.
do on the first appearance of Spider-Man? Second one, taking it a little bit more personal along the same lines you did. The first comic book really that I remember buying like with my money. You know, it's not like I'm there with my parents or whatever, but it's like this is my money. Superboy issue 17. It's just him breaking some chains. It's Connell. It's a fine issue. I like it, but like if I'm trying to look at it more objectively, like it's not even one of his better issues. It's just fine. It's just for me, nostalgia is very important. But I love Superboy. But Amazing Fantasy 15 was the first thought that I had. It's like I don't know how I could pick anything else. You know, presuming I had access to such a treasure.
And I don't know if he answered the question if someone asked the question, but he's being sworn in on a original copy.
From the Library
like he
of Congress
said, he said he's being sworn in first on top of the U.S. Constitution, but underneath it will be one of the things he's having is an original issue of Superman #1. So I don't know if that's his personal copy or someone has loaned it to him.
It's loaned on him. It's being loaned to him from the Library of Congress.
Okay, all right. So that it's still very cool, and he is a very much admitted comic book fan. He tweets a lot of geek stuff as well, but I thought that was kind of cool. You know, it definitely he trended at that point when he put that out there, so that was very interesting. But well, a cool question for myself. Good job.
I would agree. Way to go! Give yourself a high five.
There we go. High five to me. All right. So Fact or Fiction. So from last week from Mr. Hines. Number 1, Sony and Marvel will produce an animated series with a character from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. 59% said fact, 41% said fiction. What do you say, Brent?
I said fact.
You said fact. All right, number 2, Doctor Doom will appear in Avengers Secret Wars. 63% said fact, 37% said fiction.
I said fact again, especially with just the appears part.
Gotcha. And number 3, the Power Pack will appear in the MCU before the end of Phase 7. 20% said fact, 80% said fiction. I had a few people that messaged me on DM saying, who the heck is the Power Pack?
Right.
I had one person that said, I want to start reading the Power Pack. What is it? And I answered, it is a series I do not care for.
Yeah, most of my Power Pack reading has actually been, was it Alex who was in the Future Foundation for a while?
Yeah,
one of the, I think it was that one, but I'm a fiction on that. No. I mean, good grief, no.
Hey, you know what? If it gave people that, I mean, as I think I replied to some person, if they were remembering that they had a copy of it and were going to be reading it, if it gets people to read another comic, and expose themselves to something different, that is a victory, no matter what, no matter my opinion on the Power Pack.
That is very, very true.
Yep. So, all right. So I am Fact or Fiction this week. I know you said, am I this week? Or like it's been a bit since we defer to guests when they come on, they get to do Fact or Fiction. But it is my turn this week. All right. Let's see. I've got a few on here. Let me see which one I'm going to choose. All right. You know, Avatar tearing up the box office. It's already past $1 billion. It's trying to go for that $2 billion.
Past $1.5 billion.
Yep, trying to go for that $2 billion. So, along those same lines, the MCU will not have another movie earning $1 billion until either Kang the Dynasty or Secret Wars. So no other movie coming out will.
Let me take a look at my list of known dates.
And remember, we still do not have a confirmation, even though a lot of smoke where there's fire about Spider-Man 4.
I'm saying fiction.
Okay. Who do you think? What movie do you think will be the first?
I think Spider-Man 4 is the most likely.
Okay.
But I do expect that to have a sizable drop in box office. They're not repeating 1.9 billion. But other things that I feel like have a chance at getting there. I think Captain America: New World Order does have a chance at getting there. And then not to there was one other one. Let's see. I wouldn't rule the Guardians Volume 3 out. I wouldn't rule that one out. I wouldn't put it at the front runner. And then I also wouldn't rule out the Fantastic Four. So those I see are the possibilities for getting there, with Spider-Man being the most likely.
Yeah. I will agree with all those as possibilities. I think Fantastic Four will lean very heavily on the cast, depending on
Oh
who they
yes,
cast.
yes,
I
it
think
will
that
for
that
sure.
I think Spider-Man, you're right, just because of Tom Holland coming back, what the story's gonna be. But yeah, there's precedent with that. I'm gonna go fact on this, and the biggest reason I say this is just these two projects are going to be obviously for obvious reasons going to be the most anticipated. It has the easiest chance one and or both of them. Namely, I think if I have to choose one, it's going to be Secret Wars. Now, will it be interesting to see that no project until the final movie of Phase 6 get there? Yes, but again, I'll be the hot take on it. I'm going to go
I
fact on
mean,
it.
Doctor Strange hit 950.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would be stunned if they didn't hit $1 billion again prior to
Yeah,
that. Just stunned.
I would be too.
Someone
Yeah.
like Doctor Strange is hitting 950, that they have others who can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess Dark Horse, Deadpool and Wolverine.
You know,
Deadpool 3. Like thinking about
yeah,
those, it's the first
you
two
know,
movies.
especially if it's going to be rated R. Now, rated R brings its own. Not saying it's not impossible, but it would be quite a feat for them to do that. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Rated R would definitely make it harder, but both those first two Deadpool movies did over 700 million.
Yeah.
That's without
So,
Wolverine. That's
I
without
know.
Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. So,
Hugh, yes.
I guess that's another one. I think Marvel Studios has 5 legitimate chances at it. Now, watch, we're wrong about all of those, and it'll be like, I don't know, it'll be like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania or something like they'll just do it out of the gate the next
Yeah,
one.
it
I don't
will
actually
be.
anticipate that, but
And you know what? Again, this doesn't affect Brent and I in the sense of, hey, we were right, hey, we were wrong at that point. No, we don't see anything. It's just fun to think about at that point. And with Avatar, doing what it's doing, I thought it would be an interesting question. All right, so my next one. Before the end of Phase 6, we will have no more than one sequel special presentation. We will only have one special presentation that will be quote unquote a sequel by the end of Phase 6.
so you mean
Like, say that we will have a Werewolf by Night 2 special presentation.
or even the Moon Knight idea, or
Moon Knight,
because that would be considered a sequel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. I'll say fact on that because we're not getting that many sequels, or like What If and Loki are so far the only true sequels that we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could maybe put an asterisk next to Agatha, but on that, but
Yeah, spin off, but yeah. So
yeah, I'll go ahead and say fact on it.
yeah, I'm gonna go fact as well because again, not just the amount of years they could do it, but they're not, and the story that we had today. But I think that they're gonna, if they do a sequel, yeah, okay, Werewolf by Night has the easiest one. Heck, they could do another Guardians. They could do another holiday special with whoever survives the Guardians. At that point.
Rocket said they needed to do another one at the end of that. So.
they do. So, but yeah, I'm a fact as well. So my last one. Talked about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I've heard a lot of people saying, like, and we've even said on the show, who's on the Deadpool list, as it were,
Mm-hmm.
for that. I'm going to put out there in the ether, Rocket will actually survive Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He has been very much expected to bite the big one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put out there that there is a chance. You're telling me there's a chance that Rocket will actually survive Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
So many people think, including myself, think he's going to bite it.
Mm-hmm. I've said it.
I'm going to go ahead and say fiction. I do think he's dead. But it's not like a slam dunk for me. Because there's a possibility. Like, they could mix it up on us and, off, I don't know, Peter Quill or something like that. Which I don't really anticipate that. But
no,
they could
I don't
do
anticipate that either. I'm going to go fact on this. And
Okay.
I'm going to go in my tinfoil hat that James Gunn is very good at screwing with people
He
and
is.
making people think one
That's the
thing and
truth.
then doing something else. And so along those same lines, I do think Rocket is going to survive. I think a lot of these are kind of misdirects and how it's being done to make us think one thing. Who I think still is on my Deadpool list for that, I think Nebula and Drax are, Drax is pretty much where, again, with him saying he's done and everything like that. Yeah, that's an easy one. I think Nebula is also going to bite the big one.
I don't. I think Nebula survives.
There we go.
Now watch Nebula die and Rocket be the one who lives, but
Yeah, that.
we'll see. We'll see.
Hashtag Chris told you. So. All right, so I will post those on Sunday afternoon, so be on the lookout for that. And all right, so we are heading to Comic Book Club now. We delayed not only just reading the issue, but we delayed talking about our listener choices. All right, this is now the time for the listeners or the Twitter watchers to decide what Brent and I are going to read for the next Comic Book Club. So I did give the hint of it's going to be spider related, and the four choices are going to be, so it's going to be Spider-Man arcs. So we have chosen 4 arcs that we will be looking at whatever choices at that point. So the first one is Maximum Carnage. Carnage, the spawn of Venom, has assembled an army of Spider-Man's criminally insane adversaries spread his message of hostility, chaos, and wholesome slaughter throughout the Marvel universe. And teaming up with Spider-Man will be Black Cat, Cloak and Dagger, Firestar, Captain America, Deathlock, and Venom. Spider-Man's worst enemy becomes his uneasy ally in order to stop Carnage's mad rampage. And so this will encompass Spider-Man Unlimited 1 and 2, Web of Spider-Man 101 through 103, Amazing Spider-Man 378 through 380, Spider-Man 35 through 37, and Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man 201 to 203. It has been
Marvel Unlimited has it on as a list, an event, by the way.
It does, yes. It has been definitely over a decade since I have read Maximum Carnage.
I cannot say the same, sir. No, I cannot.
It's been over a decade.
No, I have read it much more recently than that.
Gotcha. Our next one, Back in Black. After Assassin's bullet intended for him hits a close member of the Spider-Man family, Spider-Man will not rest until he finds the shooter. While Sandman asks Spider-Man's help when his father is falsely accused of murder, which brings back memories of his death of Uncle Ben. This will encompass Amazing Spider-Man issues 539 to 543 and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 17 through 23 in annual number 1.
You're getting close, dangerously close with this story arc. When you suggested this, I was like, "Oh, I'm cutting it off. I'm cutting it off."
I did, but I didn't choose the dreaded arc, the dreaded story that neither one of us will ever read.
That's right.
All right, and as we choose Spider-Man arcs, as we just talk about a movie, this one was a easy pick for us. Spider-Verse. When the evil inheritors begin exterminating spider characters throughout the multiverse, every single Spider-Man ever is needed to save the day. An interdimensional spider army gathers to fight Morlun and his deadly family, but none of them is safe as the prophecy comes to fruition. What will the brutal war for survival mean for Peter Parker and the rest of the spiders? Starring a huge amount. I'm not even going to read them all right here.
Starring a whole bunch of spiders.
Whole bunch of spiders at that point. This will encompass Amazing Spider-Man issues 9 through 15 and Spider-Verse issues 1 and 2. I have a funny feeling, even though we've got one more to talk about, I have a funny feeling that one might win.
We'll see, but that's okay. You know I like the Inheritors, so
I do. I'm
a big fan there. So,
but our last one, we're diving a little multiverse, but we, again, Spider-Verse related. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man issues 1 through 12, the introduction of Miles Morales. So when Peter Parker, spoiler alert for those that have not read this, tune out for
Spoiler.
5 seconds. When Peter Parker of the Ultimate Universe falls, the world needs a Spider-Man, and here comes Miles Morales. But what's the secret behind his powers, and can he master them before Scorpion strikes? Family life gets complicated as Miles learns the truth about his uncle. There'll be familiar faces, heroic allies, deadly menaces, and a startling return, and a sprinkling of romance in the complete Ultimate Universe adventures of Miles Morales. This will encompass issues 1 through 12.
Yes.
So,
did not want to leave Miles out of the potential offerings.
definitely not. So I will post those maybe on Saturday. I'll, just separated from the Factor of Fictions at that point. We'll have it up for a number of days at that point. We will announce the winner next week when we conclude Marvel Zombies. So again, I am good with any of these. Like I said, I have a feeling maybe Spider-Verse, just because of what it is, might win, but I will be happy with any one of these, breaking these down.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
we're good either way, no matter what.
We're good.
All of my choices.
All right. So, the penultimate issue of Marvel Zombies, issue number 4. This was good because I read it last week because we weren't sure at that point whether you'd be coming on or not. So this is just a quick review. But what do you think about the penultimate episode, penultimate issue?
Out of the gate, the first couple pages.
Yep.
Splash pages of Galactus. And I
Fast,
had to mention,
you
had to mention it.
you come here from Marvel Alliance ever since Annihilation. We give you the splash pages of Galactus on this show.
I love the way that Galactus is just like, wait, you hunger? No, you don't hunger. I hunger, and just opens up on them all. But they hold their own. They've got their own cosmic power now from the Silver Surfer that they ate. So this issue, I really really like this one. It's a lot of it's just a big fight between them trying to figure out how to take down Galactus. But it really works for me.
Yeah, and what I really enjoyed about this more, because I think the last issue was a kind of low point for me in the arc, but like you said, it was cool seeing them try to stand toe to toe with Galactus. But I really like seeing the acolytes land on Earth, and then they meet up with T'Challa. And when a couple of the acolytes are kind of going against Fabian at that point, he chucks Wasp's head at the ones that are challenging him to try to take him down. And Fabian's like, oh yeah, well, nope, sorry, we're not gonna take T'Challa down because they got out of line and they got what was coming to them. I said, dang, man.
When T'Challa throws Janet's head, uses her head as a weapon like that, might be the funniest scene of the whole thing for me. I was just cracking up at it.
What makes it funnier is she's got a word bubble that says finally.
She's just hungry. Just needs a bite to eat. That's all.
Just needs a bite to eat. Exactly. But when they, we get another splash page of Galactus, but this time fighting the villains that are still surviving.
Yeah, there's a shot of Venom there, and I'm like, oh, Venom as a zombie. That's.
What about Stiltman? You cannot deny the impeccable nature of Stiltman.
I mean, he just shows up. There he is.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we come to, they get T'Challa and what's left of the acolytes on asteroid M, and we get kind of a surprise where T'Challa's missing a couple of limbs, and they say, well, we've got someone on board that can help out, and that's Forge. Somehow Forge made it onto the asteroid M, so why not? But we leave off this issue with our it's kind of hard to call them heroes, but our Marvel Zombies.
Our protagonist.
Our protagonists, even that's stretching the term a little bit, have built this amazing weapon, good for one shot to try to injure Galactus. And we leave off with another amazing Galactus splash page of him getting shot with this device. Does it do the damage they need? What will happen at the end of this issue with issue 5? Marvel Zombies. So this has been fun revisiting this.
Yeah, Marvel Zombies, it's a good time.
So
I just love it when he throws Janet's head.
Finally!
So good.
I gotta love Kirkman's dark humor on that. So, but all right, well, volume 145 in the books. Brent, tell people how they can follow you.
Brent Tech Prime, Twitter, TikTok, that's where I'm at.
All the feeds, all the feeds. Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at Chris Balgu. You can follow the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network on Twitter at GWAPod Network. You can follow this podcast on Twitter at Marvel A Podcast. You can follow my other show at Finest Believers. Again, to give that special plug to Organic Price Books, use that code MarvelGUA at checkout for $2 off every single order. Feel free to tweet, email if you want to provide feedback. You can email us at marvelalliancepodcast@gmail.com. Fact or fictions, questions, anything. We do have a trailer coming out next week, so be watching that trailer. We got our breakdown of the new Ant-Man trailer coming out.
Yes.
And continue to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever podcatcher of choice may be. Thank you all for joining us live in the chat. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe out there, everyone. And as Stan the Man would say, Excelsior, true believers. All right, Brent, post-credits discussion. You know, we thought about maybe kicking a few of some of these stories maybe to post credits, but then I brought up an idea to you that I could tell maybe when I texted it to you, you had a little bit of a smile on your face.
Oh, I did for sure.
So this is coming back from a story that was kind of making the rumor mill last week. Rumor: Ben Affleck in talks with Marvel Studios for upcoming role, possibly 2 roles in the MCU. So Ben Affleck has gone through quite a journey. This is coming from Murphy's Multiverse. Quite the journey when it comes to the superhero franchise films. The actor has made it quite a name for himself throughout his directorial acting career. A new rumor is making the rounds online that hints that Ben Affleck is potentially in talks to come to Marvel Studios. And it's quite an interesting role, the first role. He may be in talks to tackle the role of Dario Agger, according to the Twitter scooper at My Time to Shine. And so, for those that don't know Dario Agger, and I'll put it up for those that are going to be watching this either live right now or on YouTube. For those that don't know, he is actually a villain better known as the Minotaur, and it was a recurring antagonist against Thor. So let me pull up what Dario Agger looks like. So here's a nice little comparison to, as they pull it up on the screen. You got Mr. Affleck here. Here's Dario Agger in, quote unquote human form. And here is a few more screenshots of him as his more truer form.
Has Dario Agger, has he been in anything besides the Jason Aaron Thor run?
I cannot confirm that for sure. Now,
that's the only thing I remember him from.
That is the only thing I remember him from too. At one point, a lot of us were thinking Christian Bale was going to be playing this in Thor: Love and Thunder. Instead, he got God the Butcher. Now, the character, as you said, had a role in Jason Aaron's run, namely in War of the Realms. He also, I take it back. I'm about to answer your question. He did appear in the Immortal Hulk series.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I stand corrected because I have read that. But
yep.
Then I guess I'll just say I think of him from the Thor run.
Yes, mainly from there. So,
and I'm not against. I mean, anytime I've ever talked about Henry Cavill and my questions and concerns about him coming over, the same would apply to Ben Affleck, with the one little caveat that I think we're about to mention.
Yes. So Agger is famous for also being the president of Roxxon. So a possible film that's already a very crowded film, but possibly could be joining Captain America: New World Order. But the other thing he might be cast in,
the part I have no reservations about whatsoever.
Brent, why don't you say what the other part he may be considered for coming back into the MCU with?
Matt Murdock, Daredevil. A la Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, just reprising that role. This would presumably be something Secret Wars related. I am on board with this. I am totally on board with this. I don't even need him to meet up with Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I just think it would be fun. But I like that movie. Like I never saw the director's cut because it's me and I don't do director's cuts usually. But I have seen the original several times, though not for a long time. And I was a big fan of that movie. So yes, please, I'll take it.
Yeah, I enjoy Ben Affleck as an actor. I'm a big fan of his portrayal as Batman. But yeah, bringing him back to Marvel, even for, if this isn't true, okay, but what I think people are saying there's a lot more smoke is him maybe coming back to at least a cameo in Secret Wars. That would
I'd love it.
How about having both him and Charlie Cox on the same screen together? That would be just
Don't get me wrong.
joyous.
I would like to see that if it's a possibility. It just that's not like to me that's not as big of a deal as like seeing Andrew and Toby and Tom was. But I would be pretty special for me to see Tobey Maguire and Ben Affleck on screen together because that's who was in the roles when my obsession with the two of them teaming up really started to form. So
there you go.
It would really bring it back full circle for me.
Yep. So, but all right. Well, we will see if Mr. Affleck will join at some point to the MCU. But if not, we still have those lovely project he was a part of originally. But all right, we will see y'all next week for our breakdown of the new Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania trailer. Y'all have a good rest of your week next week, and we'll see you real soon. Bye bye.